लाल रंग इसका अपार,
तीखा कम है फिर भी स्वाद,
बेमिसाल बेमिसाल MDH कश्मीरी,
MDH कश्मीरी।
MDH।
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
On the show tonight, the run-up to the big WAQF bill debate ahead of the contentious debate in the Lok Sabha tomorrow, where the government is going absolutely all out to push it through. At 8:40 p.m. tonight, Owaisi's man Waris Pathan takes on the state WAQF board chief who accused Owaisi of hoarding WAQF land on the show last night. At 9 o'clock tonight, whether the Modi government will have the numbers to push through, not just in the Lok Sabha but also in the Rajya Sabha, where getting the bill through is more of a fight. But first tonight, I don't understand what the big fuss over the WAQF bill is really all about. The WAQF, the entire idea of WAQF, is an appeasement move for rich, privileged and politically connected Muslims. And that's why only the rich and entitled Muslims are fighting to keep it. Poor Muslims, Muslim women, Muslim from backward communities have nothing to do with it. They don't care. The whole anti-WAQF movement, so-called, has failed. The confusion of Rajiv Gandhi via the Shahbano decision, the tyranny of Indira Gandhi who pushed the emergency, and the communalism of Sonia Gandhi whose politics is anti-Hindu. The silence of Manmohan Singh, who never even spoke up boldly for 1984, and the divisive politics of Rahul Gandhi, who wants to do Lalu-style politics in the India of 2025, all of these have just no place in a modern India. Just like the idea of triple talaq and nikah halala had no space in modern India, it is truly secular people like you and me who need to push through to throw the WAQF idea out. The pseudos will have their own interests. They will oppose the WAQF Amendment Bill simply to keep the Muslim vote. They don't care about the nation. They don't care about Muslim women being denied their rights. They want to appease the rich Muslim men who act as overseers of their immediate political interests. Viewers, tomorrow and day after should therefore be very keenly watched. If, and I say if with a lot of hope, if the WAQF bill is passed, it will be as big a move as the removal of Article 370. It will also be a big message that the BJP government continues to mean business, that nothing, and I repeat, nothing gets diluted because of the slightly reduced numbers in June. So while we telecast the whole event live non-stop starting tomorrow morning till Thursday night, remember, this is the big moment to watch. This is the event to watch, not some inconsequential IPL match. This is history. And history must be watched in the making on your network, the Republic Media Network.
You have seen the protests. You have heard the statements.
ऑल इंडिया मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड के हुक्म पर हमने ये काला पट्टा बांधा है उस वक्फ बिल के खिलाफ। नरेंद्र मोदी इस वक्फ बिल के जरिए हमारे सीनों पर गोली चला रहे हैं, हमारे सीने पर गोली चला रहे हैं, हमारे ईमान पर गोली चला रहे हैं, हमारे मस्जिदों पर गोली चला रहे हैं।
पिछले कुछ दिनों में जो बयानात देखने में आए हैं कि लोगों को ये जज्बाती तकरीर करके बताया जा रहा है कि आपकी मस्जिद छीन जाएंगी, दरगाहें छीन जाएंगी, इमाम बाड़े छीन जाएंगे, ये बातें सरासर गलत है। देखिए, डेमोक्रेसी में पक्ष विपक्ष, सहमति असहमति एक डेमोक्रेसी का पार्ट है, और कोई संवैधानिक तरीके से अगर प्रोटेस्ट भी करते हैं तो उनका अधिकार है, करें, कोई इशू नहीं। जनता को भी तो मिले।
You have heard the arguments both for and against.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी का हर फैसला वोट के लिए, अपने लोगों को खुश करने के लिए। ये वक्फ बिल के खिलाफ समाजवादी पार्टी है, पहले भी थी, आगे भी रहेगी। जिस तरह के संशोधन भारतीय जनता पार्टी कर रही है, वो पूरा कंट्रोल अपने पास चाहते हैं।
जो अल्लाह के नाम पे प्रॉपर्टी वक्फ कर दी गई है, उससे अगर आप हमको महरूम कर रहे हैं तो फिर जाहिर है ये तो हमारे लिए बड़ा इमोशनल और बड़ी तकलीफदेह बात रहेगी। तो ये समझ नहीं रहे हैं तो ठीक है, इनको जनता समझा देगी। फिर
मैंने पहले ही कहा था, ये बिल जो है इसको हम जैसे लोगों को तस्लीम करना ज़रा मुश्किल है। इस बिल से ऐसा लगता है कि एक ही मजहब को निशाना बनाया जा रहा है। मैंने बार बार ये कहा है,
Government is very honestly and keenly looking forward to have a proper discussion on WAQF Amendment Bill. Some political parties are trying to create some excuse so that they can run away from the discussion. That would be unfortunate.
ये इतना अच्छा बिल आ रहा है, ट्रांसपेरेंट बिल आ रहा है। अब इसका फ़ायदा वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टी का आम गरीब पसमानदा मुसलमानों को होगा। मैं तो विपक्ष से भी कहूँगा कि मुसलमान को वोट बैंक मत समझिए, तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति मत करिए।
Now it's time to decide, debate and vote. The nation is just hours away from a historic parliamentary vote that will decide how Waqf boards function in the country. There has been a legacy of complaints against Waqf boards, most of which predate the country's independence.
It is my property.
From land grab, misuse of properties for personal gain and gratification, to underrepresentation of women, there have been a flurry of complaints against Waqf boards. And the opposition's ploy to build a national consensus against Waqf reform has been defeated, with Catholic organizations and even some prominent Muslim voices endorsing the bill. As the D-Day looms, will the Lok Sabha vote to end Waqf appeasement and terror?
Viewers, all kinds of appeasement must end. Waqf appeasement, particularly Muslim appeasement. And this is about the appeasement of rich and privileged male Muslims. Muslim men who are rich and wealthy on one side, everybody else on the other. Muslim women are against it, backward Muslims are against it, Bohra community is against it. You have Aga Khanis who are against it. You have Shias who are against it, right? You have everybody who's against it. But some rich Muslim men are for it. Ladies and gentlemen, Sanju Verma, everyone knows, BJP national spokesperson. Jason Adapilli is founder member of Kerala Roman Catholics. Catholics are also against this waqf. Zeenat Shaukat Ali is professor of Islamic studies. And there's Abdul Razak, who's pro-Congress, and Iftikhar Misgar also, who is for the waqf. Now, Jason, I want to start with you. This is a dangerous thing, you know, this waqf. And I want to know why you, as a Roman Catholic, are supporting the waqf bill, the amendment bill which the government is bringing.
Arnab, this is actually it's a fight for the very soul of justice in this country. This is about whether it belongs to its rightful citizens or whether a shadowy system can snatch land overnight. And in this fight, KCBC, the Kerala Catholic Bishop Council, has made history with this bold decision for every citizen affected by this broken system. Now, if you look at it, this bill is not against any religion, but for every citizen of the country. It's actually a fight between the property rights versus land grabs, legal transparency versus unaccountable power, constitutional rights versus bypassing the law. And today, I challenge anyone to prove otherwise. Now, why did KCBC take a stand like this? KCBC doesn't jump into political matters lightly, but what happened in Munambam was an eye-opener. 610 families were suddenly labeled as illegal squatters on their own land. No notice, no hearing, just a decree from Waqf board. KCBC recognized this for what it was, not a religious issue, but a clear attack on the fundamental rights of every citizen. And let's be clear, this is not just about Munambam. It's across India, schools, churches, temples, homes, hospitals, businesses. Everything is at risk. under the current WAQF laws.
Sir, it belongs
now,
to Farooq
College.
College.
Took a stand on that shook the system.
Sir, on the same
now,
land, there is a
but
college of
one
Muslim.
very important thing I would like
Sir,
to
it
tell
was
here. There are 5
decided
clauses
long
that
back.
must be passed at any cost. Clause 10, Clause 20, Clause 25, Clause 26 and Clause 41. These are extremely important clauses and it should happen with retrospective effect. Now, I have an appeal to the members of parliament. Any MP who votes against this bill is betraying their own people. Now, any MP who walks out instead of voting, now that is very important, is allowing this injustice to continue. We will not forget, the people of India will never forget about this.
Well, right now, you know, the broader point is this, that special rights for Muslims in every issue. Let's understand the broader issue. The broader issue is, and I'll place the issue here and then Sanju, you can come in, and Iftikhar, you can come in.
Yes.
You cannot always have special treatment for Muslims in this country. Mallikarjun Kharge says, I will not mix politics with religion. You cannot have, Abdul Razak, after I finish, please. After I finish, please. After I finish, please. You see, you cannot have special status for Muslims in everything. OAC complains of tax rebates given to Hindu undivided families, but he wants special treatment for Muslims. It is not possible. In the India of 2025, there won't be special treatment for Muslims. Either we are a secular country, Razak, or we are not a secular country.
We are not asking for special treatment.
You won't have special treatment.
Exactly.
All special treatment will be removed.
Understand, it is our land. It was not granted by Modi. It is our land. Earlier the Waqf was called Musalman Act, Musalman Waqf Act. It was Musalman Act. The land belongs to Muslims. This is not a government land.
When was the Musalman Act brought in? When was the, 1 minute.
Why do you want?
1 minute, I heard you. When was the Musalman Act brought in?
Sir, the Waqf Act was...
When was the Musalman Act? Musalman Act brought in.
Yes. Right.
Who brought in the Musalman Act?
20.
Yeah, so the people, that's the point, viewers. As he's saying and admitting tonight, the British brought in the Musalman Act to divide Hindus and Muslims. The people who did the partition of India brought in the Musalman Act. Why should we continue what the British brought in?
No, sir, please take it back.
It won't be allowed.
No,
it won't be allowed. Sanju is on the debate. Sanju.
Thank you.
No, you are misleading.
Okay.
No more special treatment. That's all.
Non-stop. Okay, Abdul Razak, you'll get your turn. Arnab, first and foremost, let's get one thing very clear. You've set the tone of the debate by showcasing the hypocrisy of some radical Islamists. When we want to implement uniform civil code, there is a certain Jamaat which does not believe in uniformity. तब इनको diversity का भूत सवार रहता है. When we talk about CAA, that time they will say, you know what? We are not all for diversity. We want uniformity. तो CAA के वक्त आपको uniformity चाहिए, uniform civil code के वक्त आपको diversity चाहिए, which showcases the hypocrisy of radical Islamists. But I will say one thing very clearly. Can I please finish? Abdul Razak, I heard you. 1954, there were only 3,000 properties under the Waqf. Come 2025, today we have more than 8.7 lakh properties which come under the ambit of Waqf, valued at more than 2 lakh crore and valued at more than 9.4 lakh acres. So that is the kind of land jihad.
तो आपके पेट में क्यों दर्द दे रहा है?
Property that has been usurped by the
आपके पेट में दर्द क्यों दे रहा है? As the population grew, people donated. And listen to the reply.
Sanju, louder for Sanju.
अब इनको जिहादी बोलना शुरू कर दिया तो ये रोने धोने लगेंगे. अब इनको जिहादी बोल दूंगी तो इनका रोना निकल आएगा नेशनल टीवी पर. Let me tell you, India will be governed by the constitution and the law of the land. India will not be governed by Sharia law. आपको यदि Sharia law से इतना लगाव है तो जाइए पाकिस्तान. Even in Pakistan they don't have Waqf. Even in Iran they don't have Waqf. Even in Muslim countries like Algeria, Nigeria,
बिरयानी खाने हमें जरूरत नहीं है. वाजपेयी गए थे, अडवाणी गए थे.
ना तो आपकी औकात है, ना तो आपकी हैसियत है. मोदी जी के बारे में बोलने की ना तो आपकी औकात है. और ना तो आपकी हैसियत है शांत हो जाओ।
छोड़कर फैक्ट बात करिए।
पैनलिस्ट
बदतमीजी पर मत आइए।
स्पीक रबिश ऑन नेशनल टीवी। आपकी तरफ पैनलिस्ट नहीं हूं मैं। भाई साहब आपकी तरफ पैनलिस्ट नहीं हूं, शांत हो जाओ।
मैडम आप जैसी बदतमीज औरत मैंने नहीं देखी।
डिस्कशन
The point is this, one minute, a point tonight. Shut up! How dare you talk in bubble like that? How dare you call anyone
Women,
mind your language or get out of my show. You careful about what you get out of my show. Remove him. Remove him.
She cannot be calling me.
Remove him.
this man.
Remove him. Remove this man. Remove him.
Spokesperson of BJP.
Remove him.
I pity your wife and your sister and your mother. I pity your wife, your sister.
Remove him, I said.
Just because you disagree.
Throw him out of the program.
Shame on you. Thank you, Arnab. Shame on this man. आता जाता कुछ है नहीं, डिबेट पर आकर बस चिल्लाना है और लोगों को गालियां देनी है. That's all that these guys do on national TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, the point is simple here. And let me come in here. We are one country. We cannot have a system of property dispute, property management that can never be challenged in any court of the country. Now, the problem with the WAQF is, if there is a dispute, you cannot go to a high court, you cannot go to a tribunal, you cannot go to the Supreme Court. There is absolutely no way in which there can be any judicial oversight. And I do not understand this. How can you have a system in India where there is no judicial oversight over the WAQF? Iftikhar Misgar, you are on the debate. The decisions by the WAQF tribunals cannot be challenged in the higher courts of the country. Can you hear me?
Exactly.
I don't think he can hear me. Can you hear me, Iftikhar? I don't have the camera angle and he can't hear me for sure, though the producers are insisting that he can. Can you, today viewers, can you have judicial oversight over the WAQF? You can't. This means there is no transparency, there is no accountability of the WAQF management. This basically means that the WAQF overlords are answerable only to themselves. Even the Supreme Court of India cannot challenge their decisions. Which means within one country you've created two completely different systems. One for Muslims and one for non-Muslims. One for WAQF and one for everyone else. Iftikhar, in one country, how can you allow that? How can you have a system over which there is no judicial oversight? Over which the laws or the courts of India have no jurisdiction?
Can I come in, Arnab?
Yes, please.
See, Arnab, this is not about country. Please don't mislead the people of India. This is all about the propaganda of Bharatiya Janata Party, which they are playing just to secure the votes and just to be in the power. Otherwise, tell me one thing, why this government is more concerned about Muslims only? Are only Muslims living here? Have they taken 30 crore people on board? Are they bothered about the Muslims? Will they, when they abrogated 370 articles, did they spoke to Kashmiris? No, because they don't believe in talking on behalf of people. They just want to make the other side of the story happy and to get an attraction of votes or just to mislead people that we are against.
I think that you are mistaken because the, 1 minute, Iftikhar, one counter, please one counter. The Ministry of Minority Affairs consulted various stakeholders, which includes, one, you have the report of the Sachar Committee, the concerns raised by public representatives, media, general public regarding mismanagement, misuse of powers of the WAQF Act, the underutilization of WAQF properties by WAQF institutions. The ministry also consulted with state WAQF boards. So it was a very widespread consultation. Very widespread consultation.
क्या बात है अर्नब सरकार भी अपनी हुकूमत भी अपने हुक्मरान भी अपनी रिपोर्ट भी अपना कुछ अपना ये बीजेपी चाहे तो ये कहीं पे भी रिपोर्ट ला सकते हैं See, it is not. Let us debate on other issues.
284 suggestions.
Do you have any problem with Hindu organizations?
Decision by the BJP.
Don't you have any problem with Sikh organizations? No, you don't have.
Every
Why only Muslims every
stakeholder
time? When it comes to WAQF board, when it comes to triple talaq, when it comes to 370 articles, why this government is after
more than
Muslims?
44
It is
amendments,
just
more than
gimmicks
30
for
sessions,
their
where more than
survival,
112 hours were
to remain in the
spent by
power,
various
to mislead
stakeholders
the
to
people
come to a
of India.
conclusion.
And
Why are you against the WAQF
let me tell you
Amendment?
one
It
thing.
stands
Let
for
me- let me-
inclusivity.
let
It
you hear
stands
from
for
me, madam.
transparency. It
30
stands for
crore
equity.
people will not evaporate.
भाई साहब,
This
आपको
30
वक्त से
people
क्या
will give you
दिक्कत
slap
है?
on your face.
WAQF
The
Amendment
Indians
will
will
bring
give
in
slap
women
on
on
your
the boards
face.
of
The
WAQF.
Indians will give slap on the face
WAQF
of Bharatiya
Amendment will
Janata
give
Party.
representations to the
Bharatiya
whole
Janata Party
community.
not
Iftikhar, let me share the good news with you. Iftikhar, let me share the good news with you. One minute. Iftikhar.
से क्या दिक्कत है? हजारा से क्या दिक्कत है? Today only the Sunnis enjoy that 9.4 lakh acres worth of property which is under the ambit of
How come
WAQF.
you have only these
Why
good
don't
news,
you have
Arnab?
Pasmanda Muslims being represented on WAQF boards? इसका जवाब दीजिए. पासमंदा मुसलमानों के साथ आपको बड़ा दिक्कत क्या है? हजारास, बोहरास, शियास इनके साथ आपको दिक्कत क्या है? आगा खानी मुसलमान इनके साथ आपको दिक्कत क्या है? हम कह रहे हैं सभी Muslim castes and communities will get representation in the new WAQF Act. We are talking about inclusivity. आपके पेट में दर्द क्यों हो रहा है भाई
जब
साहब?
मैं बात करूंगा तो आप मुझे हैकल करोगी.
Sanju, please don't. Sanju, please don't. Now you pull back, Sanju. You pull back for a minute, Sanju. One minute. Pull back. Let him have his say, Iftikhar. 1 minute, yeah. Iftikhar, tell me, we have Zinat Shaukat Ali with us on the program. She's a very distinguished professor of Islamic Studies, Director General of the Wisdom Foundation. Now, tell me one thing. Would Zinat Shaukat Ali ever get place in any WAQF board? No. You know why? Because she's a Muslim woman. A Muslim woman cannot be allowed into a WAQF board. Terrible. Can you imagine? You keep speaking about 30 crore Muslims. By that logic, there are 10 to 15 crore Muslim women. And you say these Muslim women should never have a voice. They should always be throttled. They should always be persecuted. They should always be denied. And it is.
Please don't worry about Muslim women.
Why should I not?
Muslim women, I have been taken care of.
Why should I not?
Muslim women have been
Why should I not? How can you say, please don't worry about Muslim women? They are my fellow
You don't have
citizens.
to worry. You leave it to us.
Muslim women
You
are
leave
not
it to us.
citizens
Worry
of
for
this
the
country. You are the same Jamaat which had a problem when instant triple talaq was made illegal and unconstitutional.
Muslims know
You want
how to
nikah
tackle
you
things,
want
and Muslims know how to give rights, the better
You want
rights and
Muslim
good
men
rights
to
for
have
their
same
women.
rights.
Please and please, don't divide this country on the basis
Why are
of
you so
religion.
regressive?
Please and please don't
Why can't you bring in progressive ideas
This is a
within
multilingualistic
Islam?
country.
Why don't you
This is
welcome
a
progressive
multireligious
ideas?
country.
Have you
Please
ever
don't
seen a
try
Hindu
to divide this
saying
country
that
on the basis of religion.
Okay, I ask you. Okay.
The Gaurakshaks,
Indira Gandhi International Airport हमारा है. This is what the WAQF board is saying. It wants 400 acres of land in Ernakulam district. It has laid a claim to Indira Gandhi International Airport.
Those people
The WAQF board
who
has
dance
laid
in
a
front of
claim
masjids,
to the Surat Municipal.
1 minute, Sanju down, Iftikhar up. I want to ask Iftikhar something. Iftikhar, you have spoken. I take offense to your statement that don't worry about Muslim women, because I do. I have every right to. You don't speak in a way that you think you own the voice of Muslim women, because you don't.
Exactly.
One, what is anti-Muslim? It is anti-Muslim when in the pretext of nikah halala, a woman is raped for 10 continuous days injecting sedatives. Okay? It is anti-Muslim. Keep quiet. It is
all self-created.
It is anti-Muslim when a cleric, along with his brother, rapes a woman in the pretext of nikah halala.
People like them, they are shame on Muslims.
When we spoke about nikah halala, you said don't worry about Muslim women. Did you worry enough about them?
Problem with Narendra Modi.
Did you worry enough about them?
दिखाएंगे. बट आपको वेलफेयर स्कीम्स का बेनिफिट सारा चाहिए.
Don't
ऐसा नहीं चलेगा.
count these people. Don't count these Shazili and the people like this woman. Don't count them as a Muslim. They are the.
Zinat Shaukat Ali, are you saying I should not count Zinat Shaukat Ali as a Muslim woman?
You want benefits, but कागज नहीं दिखाएंगे. क्यों नहीं दिखाएंगे भाई साहब?
Viewers, there is a sense of stress that Iftikhar Misgar and Muslim men like him have. Because this is a Muslim men versus Muslim women debate, rich Muslim men versus everybody else debate. And it is a reality that when we say these things, it makes people very uncomfortable. And therefore, I want to bring in Zinat Shaukat Ali. Zinat, ji, this bill is coming through for debate. We must look at it in terms of representativeness. You have been at the forefront of reform. Now, here are people who are saying that there must be no change. And my view is this. Why are people saying this? It is because some people are making a lot of money. I'll put out that graphic about market rates for WAQF land and the land at which it is rented. Can I put that out, ladies and gentlemen? A simple example I would like to put out. In the name of WAQF land, these people who are owning or controlling the WAQF trusts are putting the rental income into their own pocket. This is lifelong income. So something that is worth 7 to 8 lakh a month on paper is rented out for 5,000 rupees a month, which means the rest of the 7 to 8 lakh a month goes into the pocket of the people controlling the WAQF board. So this is nothing about religion in my view. This is pure and simply, Zinatji, about business. Something where the market rent rate is 2 lakh a month for a 300 square yard plot in Delhi, right, is rented out for 1,700 rupees a month. The rest of the money goes into the pockets of the people controlling the WAQF. It is lifelong income for these people. And therefore, they are very disturbed. Zinat Shaukat Ali, unfiltered, your views on the WAQF Board Amendment Bill.
Thank you for inviting me to the show, Arnab. It's been a while. Now, I think that to start off with, let us start with this, that Islam has never hindered any kind of progress. It has opened the way to progress. It is asking you to live in the 21st and 22nd century. It is opening your minds out. And as far as coming to the WAQF bill is concerned, there is no, there is absolutely no doubt that there has been a lot of corruption regarding it. I mean, the people who are in charge of the WAQF have not made sufficient money. The money they have made has been pocketed. A lot of land has gone here and there. It is very vague, it is very uncertain, and nobody really, as you have pointed out, the poor have suffered, and it was a WAQF actually is given away in the name of God to help the poor. A WAQF would mean, education, it would mean employment, it would mean land not to be used and utilized for one's personal needs, but for the need of the community, which I have not seen happening. And otherwise, why would there be so much poverty when Muslims own so much land? When you have acres and acres of land which you have owned for over so many hundreds of years, what have you shown as a Muslim, as a practicing Muslim, to show that you have benefited the community in any way? So I think this entire understanding and the arguments that have come against are created from a myth, and those myths have to be cleared. You see, there are, as you have pointed out, there are no women to be included there. They have never been included. Now you are being included. Personal land is not being taken away. There are certain definitions that have been provided by the Supreme Court to say that this WAQF land is under consideration. There have been amendments brought to the Act that when there was only a district person, looking at the Act and bringing about changes, now it's gone to the courts, so that if there is any dispute, I think it's moving towards fairness, and when it is debated in open parliament, it should be encouraged. Let there be transparency. Let there be understanding. You cannot be thick-headed and close your minds and say, only I am right. That is not correct. That is not the position that Islam has ever taught you. And it has taught you how to move ahead, how to go on with your life and how to help the country to grow also, and you as individuals to grow in that country. So here we have, we have had a controversial bill. No doubt there have been certain, certain clarifications that have been required. I think very gradually those clarifications are being offered and clarifications are coming in. And so therefore we have to give this matter due consideration and stop this corruption. You see, Islam is dead against corruption. What was the month of Ramadan and charity all about? It is about distributing your wealth. It is about sharing. It is about caring. So we, the people of India, have to learn to share and care and to see that we hold this property, hold this land to the benefit of the Muslims and to the benefit of the country and to the benefit of all concerned. So I think, that a sheer kind of an opposition to an act of this nature is not to be countenanced. At least I genuinely, as a Muslim, as a very humble Muslim, oppose such opposition that comes and is taking you towards reform. Now, if you feel that the government is going to take away all your land, it is telling you, and I have the amendments right here before me, to say that no such thing is happening, and therefore why are these myths being created? For instance, it is said that no personal land is to be acquired. It is said that the bill applies only to properties which are declared as WAQF. And you have to understand that when was it given away, there is a certain legality concerned with the land that is given away, and when was it recorded and how was it given away, I think, which are perfectly legal and a question that need to be answered. It also says that it does not affect any personal property that has not been donated as WAQF. So you see the clarity one has to understand and read in the lines in between. You see what the Supreme Court has said and what is going on to be an amendment. Unless you know that, and until you know that, and most of all, I think, only assets voluntarily and legally dedicated to WAQF are covered by this new act. So one has to be clear. Have you got that clarity? When the Supreme Court is coming in and the Supreme Court is giving you certain guidelines, as to how women should be included, where the divisions are coming in, what is the user state, I think you have to consider that the Supreme Court of India has gone into this with some detailed understanding, and as a citizen of this country, you cannot just take it and say, no, this is anti-constitutional. I think that is a grave error, and it gives a very... It gives the Muslims itself a very, a position that Islam does not promote. Islam promotes you, it tells you to widen out, it tells you to understand, it tells you, yes, if there are objections, raise them logically. Get the answers. It is the debate, the government is not saying that the debate is not going to be put on the floor of the parliament, it is. So raise those questions which are important and necessary for clarifications. And there is no land taken away from you. There is just one, thought I have, Arnab, which I should like to share. And that is, you see, what has come into the Muslim mind is that every endowment in our country, there are so many, there's a Jain endowment, Buddhist, and there's a Parsi and Hindu and Sikh and Muslim. Each one has its own governing body. And when there are non-Muslims included in that, then that, a clarification as to will other endowments also in the secular democratic republic like India also prevail. So there's a law has to be for all people, as it is for the Muslims are not, as you say, distinguished. They are not separate citizens. They are part of the citizenry.
That's the whole debate.
And whatever the constitution says, one has to be ruled by. So when we introduce that understanding, because this is a doubt that comes in, that will the government take away the land? What are the concerns? Now those have to be very logically and reasonably put, and I'm sure that they will be answered in the same way and in the same spirit as they're asked. So I don't see why we are getting this so het up about a progressive understanding about overcoming corruption, about helping the poorer sections of the Muslims to get education, getting Muslim women on board, which I think is extremely important, which we have not had. I mean, Muslim women are nowhere on the scene really, where Muslims are concerned. We may be on other teams, in parliament, but we are not. We have to be on these teams also. So one has to consider these factors in all earnestness and seriousness, and not just create myths and misunderstandings, give out misinformation and create doubts in the minds of the public. I have been asked this question recently by very dear friends of mine who are non-Muslims, and I have, they have put their points forth, and I have given them my arguments as to why I think one way or the other. And how I support this bill, and there are a couple of questions in my mind. Now, for example, the courts are taking over any kind of dispute, and I'm happy about that. Now, the other question that was in my mind is that in a secular democratic republic where we are all equal, will all endowments have, a mixed group sitting? Because these will be experts. So there are non-Parsis also, non-Sikhs also who are experts. And that was my only concern. And I think that we have to be together with India. You cannot oppose everything that the government is saying. When in 75 years, when you did not bring about reform, when you were given ample opportunity.
Waris, you are muted.
To abolish the talaq, you have to
Waris, you are muted.
with the government doing something good.
Waris, see, tomorrow the WAQF bill will be passed in the Lok Sabha. And Sanju is on. I just want admission from you. Or you can call it a confession. Because yesterday, Shadab Shams was on the program. He's the Uttarakhand WAQF Board chairman. And Sanju, very interestingly, he claimed that Asaduddin Owaisi, through family members and others, party associates and groups, has control over several WAQF properties which are being commercially utilized. I am only calling upon Waris Pathan today to declare before everyone whether his leader is in this because he is commercial utilization or controls the commercial utilization of several WAQF properties in and around Hyderabad or other places. Sanju, is it a fair demand? He should make a disclosure. Instead of saying he's fighting for Muslims, he can say, I'm fighting for my commercial interests.
I make my point, or you
Sanju, would you like Sanju's view, please? I think this point, Sanju and Waris in a versus. Sanju first.
Okay, fine. I think whenever it is Waris and me, we always end up shouting at each other. But let me just say one thing. I think asking Asaduddin Owaisi to make public the control that he has on WAQF properties and whether or not he has a commercial interest in all these WAQF properties, I think that is a very fair and legitimate demand. Point number one. Point number two, there are also media reports wherein Waris Pathan has reportedly said that हम सड़कों पर नमाज करेंगे क्योंकि मस्जिद और मॉस्क बनाने के लिए हमारे पास जमीन नहीं है. मैं सिर्फ ये पूछना चाहती हूँ to both Asaduddin Owaisi and Waris Pathan, today the WAQF under its ambit has 8.7 lakh properties. You, as in the WAQF under your ambit, have more than 9.4 lakh acres at your disposal. 9.4 lakh acres होने के बावजूद आप ये कैसे कहते हैं कि मुस्लिम समाज के पास जमीन नहीं है, इसीलिए सड़कों पर, रेलवे ट्रैक्स पर आपको नमाज पढ़ने की जरूरत है. ये मेरा सेकंड पॉइंट है. एंड थर्ड पॉइंट इज दिस. Asaduddin Owaisi says BJP is scared of AIMIM. तो मैं कहना चाहती हूँ AIMIM contested on 16 seats in Maharashtra and they won just one, which means their strike rate or success rate in the Maharashtra Assembly elections of 2024 was a piddly 6.2%. And let me also tell you that in Sambhaji Nagar, which is a Muslim dominant seat, BJP's Atul Moreshwar Save defeated AIMIM's Imtiaz Jalil. Imtiaz Jalil is the same man who said, Nupur Sharma ko चौराहे में खड़ा करो और उसका सरपंच से जगह जुदा होना चाहिए. So let me tell you that progressive Muslims don't support the likes of Owaisi, don't support the likes of Imtiaz Jalil. don't support the likes of Waris Pathan. And I also want to know, why is it that Owaisi is against Pasmanda Muslimans? Why is Owaisi against Bohra community? Why is Owaisi against Shias? Why is Owaisi against Sufis? Why is Owaisi against...
Now, may I come in, or should I just remain quiet and leave the meeting, please?
No, don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave.
I'm not here to listen to this thing.
Don't leave. Don't leave.
No, I will leave.
Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. All I want to know. All I want to know. 1 minute, Sanju. 1 minute. Sanju.
Whatever you want to. Allow me to make my point.
Waris, all I want to know is whether your leader has a commercial interest in Waqf properties.
Whatever my leader said, I will make my point clear.
Does he have a commercial interest in Waqf properties?
You allow me to make my point uninterrupted, I will make, otherwise I will just sit quiet.
Yeah, but you will have to answer my question.
You have now posed a question, so I have the guts to listen to my answer.
It doesn't require guts, I'm listening.
First thing, we outrightly reject the WAQF Amendment Bill, which is brought by the BJP. This bill is unconstitutional.
You're not answering my question.
It violates the Article 14, 24, 25, 26 of the Constitution. Because, no, I'm answering to your question. Now, to pass this bill on the Lok Sabha, the BJP will need majority. They don't have the majority. Now, if Chandrababu Naidu, Nitish Kumar, Jayant Chaudhary, and Chirag Paswan, they support this bill, Arnab, let me tell you, the Muslims of the country...
Don't do Muslim vote politics here.
Because this
Does your leader have a commercial interest in Waqf properties?
We will pass the bill. I say that with a lot of responsibility.
See, I was listening to you. In your channel, when we come, you are not allowed to make that point, and they're phone renting. So I will sit there and point. I won't make my point. I will say, Sanju, when you were making your point, I was quiet.
I'm sure of
Go
that.
some decency. If you have the guts to listen to my answer.
Does your leader have a commercial interest in Waqf properties?
Please don't give me lectures on decency, Waris Pathan. We know how decent you are. Decency.
Yeah, I'm being decent to you. No, I'm making my point. This is a serious topic.
Yes, so I'm just saying you can't speak on behalf.
Did I say anything when you were making your point?
1 minute, Sanju, can you be quiet for a minute? Let me get the answer to my question. Sanju, please wait, please wait, please wait, please wait. A critical point has emerged in the debate now. Sanju, you'll have to wait, please. Thank you. Sanju, you'll have to wait for a minute, please. Now the question goes to only Waris Pathan, and only Waris Pathan will reply. Does Owaisi control Waqf properties?
Whosoever.
Does Owaisi control Waqf properties?
Whosoever, including Arnab Goswami, if he tries to spread lies and canards, we will file defamation.
Does Owaisi or his brother control Waqf properties?
If you have the data, show it. Don't spread lies. Second, come to the main point. If these poor people, they have...
Unfortunately, the Shams is not here. I would have got him. Let's still try him.
The Muslims of the nation...
Let's try him nevertheless. Does Owaisi control Waqf properties?
I have said
does not represent the Muslims of the nation.
It's a lie.
Loud and clear.
Which is spread by you.
Is limited to
and like-minded people like you.
Yesterday, a panelist came who said that Owaisi controls Waqf properties, and on those properties, a five-star hotel has been constructed. A five-star hotel has been constructed. Is there a five-star hotel being constructed anywhere on a Waqf property near Hyderabad?
I say Arnab has confiscated many properties belonging to the Hindu Endowment Board. What will happen tomorrow? I should have the documents to prove. I should have the documents to make the claims that I am making. Merely by making such kind of false claims won't lead anywhere. If you have the data, prove it. There's a question of the property belonging to the Muslims.
But will you admit that if, my question is, will you admit that if Mr. Owaisi has control over Waqf properties which have been commercially utilized, then it's an obvious case of a conflict of interest for your leader, which he should disclose.
We will disclose to the authorities, not on your channel.
Wow, that's not answering my question.
No.
Zeenat, is he answering my question there? Zeenat, is he answering my question there? Zeenat Shaukat Ali, is he answering my question there?
I am not allowed to make my point.
He's not answering. I need to say something. May I?
Yes, you may.
No, you will not say anything, madam. Please wait. It is my turn. You made your point for 15 minutes, uninterrupted minutes. I want to make my point. I am called here to make my point.
No, but he's not answering. Zeenat, why do you feel he's not answering the question? Why do you feel he's not answering the question?
We won't allow 1 inch of the land which belongs to the WAQF to be given to the BJP. We will protest in a
It's not going to the BJP at all. That's another lie and canard you're spreading. Do you control Waqf land? Have you rented out Waqf land? Where is the money from that Waqf land going? Whose pocket is it going in? Are you on any Waqf board? Are you on any Waqf board?
They have the board.
Are you?
Do the endowment have the board?
Are you?
Why the Hindu endowment have their board?
Are you?
Why do endowment?
Are you? I'm asking you, are you?
What are you asking?
I am asking you whether you are on a Waqf board. Don't be nervous.
I am not in a Waqf board. I am here.
Is your leader on a Waqf board?
Citizen of the country, as a Muslim, to protect the property bill which is given to our.
But why can't Zinat Shaukat Ali be on a Waqf board?
BJP wants to usurp it.
Why? Why you don't trust Muslim women? You're anti-Muslim women.
We will use the courts. We will go on the streets.
You don't believe in the courts. This is the most ironical thing. They say you cannot question any decision of Waqf in a court. But if there's a Waqf Amendment Bill, they'll say we'll go to the court. Did you agree to go to the court? If anyone questions a Waqf decision, can they go to the court? You have no respect for the courts.
Yes, you can go in revision.
You can't.
You can't. Tribunal order. Who stops you from going to the High Court under revision? Who stops you? Tell you, then why are you playing false lies and canards? If there is a dispute...
Why are you getting so stressed? It's almost like you're losing your livelihood.
You want to challenge it?
It's like you're losing your money. Are you seeing Sanju? It's a life and death issue. Are you seeing? It's like he's going to lose everything. Go earn an honest living. Why do you want to rent out Waqf land?
He's an abusive, indecent, regressive Muslim. Varis Pathan is an indecent, regressive, abusive Muslim who does not stand for inclusion. He does not want the Pasmanda Muslim community.
Why is he gone away? Bring him back.
असदुद्दीन ओवैसी, इनको सारी की सारी मलाई खानी है. असदुद्दीन ओवैसी और वारिस पठान जैसे रिग्रेसिव मुसलमान ये पूरी की पूरी मुस्लिम कम्युनिटी को टार्निश करने में सक्सेसफुल हो रहे हैं. You know, the progressive Muslims are being maligned and tarnished by radical Islamists like Owaisi, by radicals like Waris Pathan. And I think Zinat Shaukat Ali asked a very interesting question, whether all mixed endowments will also see changes. I just want to say that Waqf is the only endowment which has been a law unto itself. Section 85 of the Waqf bill currently says that if there's a dispute, neither the district commissioner nor the subdivisional magistrate have any locus standi. The Waqf tribunal will decide kya sahi hai, kya galat hai. The new Waqf Amendment Act says that the Waqf tribunals cannot be a law unto themselves. No other religion, be it Buddhist trust, Jain trust, Hindu trust, have had suo motu powers like the Waqf board. And that is what the new Waqf Amendment Act seeks to change, because you need to have transparency, which currently is not there right from 1954. The Waqf has been operating in an opaque manner, and that is what we seek to undo with the new Waqf Amendment Act. And I think every progressive Musliman,
the most important thing here is
Sunni community or Pasmanda or the Hazaras, they need to welcome this with open eyes and with open arms.
The most important thing here is, and I want to go to Jason back. You see, viewers, this time it's not a minority issue, because Christians and Hindus and Parsis and Sikhs and Buddhists are all together. In fact, all Muslims are also together against this people like Iftikhar Misgar. It's only a small group of wealthy and privileged Muslim men who are trying to hold on to their money interests. They have to earn a lot of money. Why don't they earn money through other means, I'm asking here. Why do they have to earn money by renting out Waqf land and putting it in their pocket? Why don't they become doctors, engineers, computer scientists, MBAs, earn money? Why do you want to live off rental income that is not yours? It's very wrong. And Jason, is this a minority issue? It's not. What's the sense you get? This is not a minority versus majority issue, is it? You're a member of the minority community, Jason.
ये रातों रात बीजेपी को मुसलमानों की हमदर्दी क्यों हो रही है?
आपको क्या चिंता है? हमदर्दी है तो है, आपको नहीं है.
अरे भाई साहब, मुसलमानों के साथ मोदी जी की हमेशा से हमदर्दी रही.
Now, if you look at this particular...
Okay, let's get in Jason. Jason, is it a minority?
As you rightly said, Arnab, it is not a minority issue. Now, if you look at it, actually protects the citizens' rights. Now, what are the clauses which is going to help? Now, right to property. Now, the current WAQF Act allows a WAQF board to declare any land as WAQF property without any proof. That is, it is actually, if you look at Article 300A of the Constitution. Now, this amendment removes this unchecked power, ensuring no property can be taken without due legal process. Now, if you look at the protection, no citizen can lose their land without fair compensation and legal recourse. So this is extremely important.
Please don't shout.
Look at the right to fair trial and appeal. Currently, the WAQF tribunal decision cannot be challenged in higher courts. This amendment removes that restriction, allowing appeals in regular courts. Now, how it is going to protect citizens? Citizens get a fair chance to defend their property legally. Now, if you look at the third important thing, that is right to protection from arbitrary criminalization. Clause number 26, very important. Currently, any landowner can be jailed for 2 years. You look at Munampam. Now, 610 families, every individual is going to be jailed for 2 years just because the WAQF board labeled them as encroacher. What nonsense is this? Now, this amendment removes this.
I'm so glad you're speaking out, Jason.
Due process. Now, protection.
I'm so glad today that the Catholic community is speaking up against the radicals in the Muslim community. See, the entire Christian community is standing with the government on this. Iftikhar, you have failed. You people have failed this time. This is not a CAA moment. You completely failed. Enjoy your failure. Enjoy your failure. Don't look so serious.
Come on.
You know, I'm not saying come on. You enjoy your failure. You have failed. No Muslims are with you.
Radicals have failed. And progressive Muslims have won.
Joe, we will not evaporate. We will teach them the lesson. We will teach them the lesson.
No. What do you mean teach them a lesson? 1 minute. I need a clarification. What do you mean teach them a lesson? You're threatening on television.
Listen, stop behaving like a Gunda national TV. What do you mean you will teach people?
Bihar elections, in UP elections, in 2030 elections, we will definitely teach them the elections. We will not evaporate. Why this government is Muslims?
So you are saying that Muslims will not vote for the BJP in Bihar, but Muslims are not voting for the BJP in UP also. What's new?
Outside Hyderabad. Shant ho jaiye.
I want Zeenat to come in. She's a little upset. Zeenat.
I think this is very highly objectionable. To speak in these terms, you do not represent all Muslims, sir. You represent yourself, and we are individuals are able to make our own decisions on whom we vote for or whom we don't vote for. The sad part that I feel is that you are not using. Unfortunately, you are turning the Muslims into a vote bank, which they are not.
You don't represent Muslims. You don't look like
in your argument, you have to give your points of discussion where you agree or disagree. You cannot make sweeping statements like you make, and therefore get the community, the majority community will, if they listen to you, they will, they will not look at me with respect. So kindly note.
No, and what do you mean by what do you mean by we will teach you a lesson? Are you threatening the people of the country?
No, we will definitely teach them the lesson in election democratically. We will be the people who have fought for this country.
And not for other people. These kind of, Muslims are not a bunch of, vote banks that, every time you say want something done, you make them into a vote bank and do the things that you want them to do. And, I think, and stop their progress. The sad part is that you stop their progress, you stop opening up their minds. You have to think about it. And any argument, sir, that you may offer must be based on reason and intelligence, and not on your passions, and not on what people say, and not on what you think of Muslims as vote banks.
I'll close it there. I'll close it there. When I'm back to the big question everyone's asking is whether the Modi government has the numbers to push through the WAQF Amendment Act. And when I'm back, I will explain why it'll go through easily in the Lok Sabha. And there's a bit of a fight in the Rajya Sabha, but I think the government is going to get the bill through. I think in 48 hours, the bill will be through. This is going to be as historic as the abrogation of 370 when I'm back.
Arnab will be right back with the debate.
दही बड़ा खाने का मन है।
वाह क्या स्वाद! असली स्वाद तो MDH दही बड़ा रायता मसाले से ही आता है।